Exercise 1, parts A and B. Use the properties of power functions y equals x to the power of n to compare the following two numbers. So here we are in part A. Let me write down these two numbers, 1/3 to the power of 5 and the other one is 1/4 to the power of 5. Now first, we have to try to understand that both numbers are function value of one power function for different two x values. And the power function that I'm talking about is the power function y equals x to the power of 5. So if you substitute 1/3 for x, you get this value. And if you substitute 1/4 for x, well, you obtain the value 1/4 to the power of 5. What is obvious from the previous material about power functions is the shape of the graph. So you may see that the power is odd, so we have 5 as n, and therefore the graph should reside in the first and third quadrant like this. And this means that the function has to be increasing. Now take these two values. So first value and the second value. The first value is x1, the second value is x2. So x1 is the smaller of those two numbers, 1/4 and 1/3. And you may see that 1/4 is smaller, so it's here. So this number here is 1/4, and x2 is 1/3. 1/3 is the larger number, 1/3. You may know it because 1/4 is 0.25 and this is approximately 0.33. Now, if you want to compare the function values, you just use the graph and see that for 1/4 you get this function value. So this must be exactly 1/4 to the power of 5. So it's this one. And for x2, you get a function value which is greater, and it's here. And this should be equal to 1/3 to the power of 5. Okay? And since this number is above the previous one, you may see that 1/3 to the power of 5 is simply greater than 1/4 to the power of 5. Okay, there is no need to use any calculation or calculator to establish this fact. This fact can be established just working with the graph alone and by not using the knowledge about the properties of power functions like you observed here. In part B, we have a different situation. We have numbers -1/3 to the power of 5, -1/3 to the power of 5, and -1/4 to the power of 5. Okay, so this time I will try to make this graph a little bit larger. So again, we have the function x to the power of 5. So this is y equals x to the power of 5 because both numbers are function values of this function. And now one of those numbers, -1/3 and -1/4, is the smaller one and one is the larger one. So which one? So this is -0.33 and this is -0.25. So perhaps you may place them on the x-axis, okay, x and y. This one would be -1/3 and this would be -1/4. Okay, and you see that the function value of the function for -1/3 is here. So this should be -1/3 to the power of 5. And the function value for -1/4 is obtained like this. So this should be -1/4 to the power of 5. And since this number is above the second one, we can simply conclude that it's greater. So therefore, minus 1/4 to the power of 5 is a greater number than minus 1/3 to the power of 5. And this is it for this exercise.